In March 2023, northern Peru's sky hid a growing threat. The air was heavy, the calm unnatural. Cyclone Yaku was forming where cyclones shouldn't exist. It crept in silently, with no warning, bringing not wind, but a relentless, punishing rain. The rain hammered roofs, turned streets into rivers, and filled homes with fear. Rivers swelled into monsters, devouring land and homes. The ground gave way, surrendering to the water's power. In a region used to El Niño, a cyclone was unthinkable. Warnings came too late. The enemy was already inside. Shock turned to desperate survival as people scrambled to understand and endure. The aftermath was devastation. Homes gone, fields submerged, roads erased. The landscape was scarred and broken. For northern Peru, dawn revealed a nightmare. Their world was upside down, and the fight for the future had just begun. This was not just a storm, it was a test of spirit. The people faced a new kind of disaster, one that demanded everything they had. The challenge was clear: survive, adapt and rebuild. The story of Yaku was just beginning. The true battle was not against the storm, but for hope. And hope in Peru is stubborn. Before Yaku, life in northern Peru was simple and deeply tied to the land. Families farmed mangoes, lemons and coffee, crops that defined their identity. Children played in dusty streets, neighbors were like family, and the rhythm of the seasons shaped every day. They managed water with canals, knew their soil, and built homes from adobe and wood. The local school was the village's heart, and the marketplace buzzed with life. Community was their greatest strength. Hombro a hombro, shoulder to shoulder, was a way of life. But this connection to the land made them vulnerable. Their lives depended on nature's balance, and they watched the sky for familiar signs. El Niño was a known adversary, but a cyclone was unimaginable. The warm ocean current seemed a blessing, not a warning. No one suspected they were fueling a storm that would threaten to wash everything away. The calm before Yaku was deceptive, a mask hiding chaos. When the storm came, it shattered not just homes, but the very sense of security. Life would never be the same.
I was a farmer. My hands told the story, strong from years in the soil. My farm was my pride, my family's future. When the rains began, I sensed something was wrong. The river's roar was new, angry, powerful. The night it broke its banks, I grabbed my children and ran. From a hill, we watched everything we owned disappear in minutes. The loss was crushing. Home, fields, tools, memories. Survival became a daily struggle. We found shelter with neighbors, sharing what little we had. News was scarce, rumors everywhere. Were we forgotten? But I couldn't give up. I was a farmer. I knew how to endure. My children needed me to fight. I decided I would rebuild.
Rosa's story echoed across the region. Loss, confusion, and the first steps towards survival. Thousands faced the same test. The storm took much, but not their will. For Rosa and many others, the choice was clear: rebuild no matter what. The fight was far from over, but hope, like the land, could be coaxed back to life. The spirit to endure remained unbroken. Cyclone Yaku unleashed chaos, a cascade of disasters. Landslides buried homes and roads, hillsides collapsed with terrifying force. Floods transformed towns into lakes, streets into canals. People were stranded, communication cut, and aid slow to arrive. Schools became shelters, classrooms filled with displaced families. Over 1 million children lost access to education overnight. With roads gone, many communities were isolated, desperate for help. The disaster exposed the fragility of society's foundations. In the world Yaku left behind, survival depended on resilience and improvisation. Aid workers faced two battles, against the storm and against broken systems.
Our emergency plans were overwhelmed. This was beyond El Niño.
With communications down, we struggled to know who needed help most.
Roads were rivers, bridges gone. Supplies sat in warehouses, unreachable.
Helicopters were few. Every decision meant some villages waited too long. The crisis revealed years of poor planning. Homes built in risky places. Warnings that never came.
We were prepared for El Niño, not a cyclone. People didn't know what was coming.
Aid always lagged behind the disaster, never ahead. When official help faltered, communities became their own first responders.
Neighbors rescued each other, shared food and opened their homes. Social barriers vanished. Everyone was a survivor. Groups like Coop Norandino organized aid, checked on members, and distributed supplies. We formed human chains, cooked communal meals, and kept hope alive.
These kitchens became centers of solidarity and strength. The true spirit of Peru shone in unity and compassion.
Recovery began with us. By working together, we kept our dignity and hope.
Even when systems failed, community endured. In the face of disaster, unity was their greatest weapon. Yaku was born from a rare mix of climate, geography, and human vulnerability.
Unusually warm ocean waters fueled the storm. El Niño Costero gone extreme. The Andes forced moisture upward, unleashing torrential rain on unprepared land. Dry soil couldn't absorb the water. Mudslides swept away everything.
Poor urban planning made it worse. Homes built in riverbeds and on unstable slopes.
People lived in harm's way with little regulation or safe housing.
No one expected a cyclone. Warnings were late or never reached rural areas.
People were ready for El Niño, not Yaku.
The result, a disaster far worse than it should have been. Nature, geography, and human choices collided in tragedy. Out of Yaku's devastation, Peru is learning hard lessons.
We need modern warning systems for all threats, not just El Niño. Warnings must be clear and reach even the most remote communities.
Safer building is essential. No more homes in high-risk zones.
We must rebuild smarter with stronger materials and better planning.
Community education is key. People must know the risks and how to respond.
Teaching practical steps and evacuation plans saves lives.
Groups like Hombro a Hombro are leading grassroots education.
Working with nature, reforesting hills, restoring rivers, and sustainable farming will help prevent future disasters.
These lessons are the blueprint for a safer, more resilient Peru. Months later, scars remain, but hope is growing.
Recovery is slow, but every new brick, every cleared field is a step forward.
The sounds of rebuilding mix with children's laughter in repaired schools.
We're not just surviving, we're building back better, planning for safety.
Resilience is now a daily practice, not just a word.
Yaku changed us, but united us too. Next time we'll be ready.
A rainbow over a rebuilt village is a symbol. After the storm, there is renewal.
The work isn't done, but we face it with courage and hope.
The people of northern Peru looked into the eye of the storm and were not broken. They rebuild not just with bricks, but with the indestructible spirit of community. The future is uncertain, but their resolve is unshakable. After Yaku, they know together they can weather any storm.